Hey guys, and welcome back to part 2 of this video using AI to help us generate a product and list it on Shopify and on Etsy and any other platform realistically you want to. So in this video, this is the second part where we are going to be sorting out the photos. I'm going to tell you a little bit about taking photos, how I edit the photos, which isn't really that in depth. And then I'm going to walk you through how I post on Shopify using ChatGPT. And then I'm going to show you how I post it onto Etsy using Gemini. I do jump from 2 different programs. I feel like ChatGPT is good for some things, and then Gemini is good for other things. Gemini, it doesn't really, it can't be that overly creative. That's why I like to use it for the second section. And then because we're already inputting the information that ChatGPT has already given us. So that's kind of what it is. This is a pretty long video, so make sure you check the timestamps down below. I do my best to not do my waffling, but I am extremely passionate about this entire process and what I'm doing. That's why I'm making the videos. Shocking, I know. But I do end up giving a load of tips. But again, I am a waffler, so enjoy. The next port of action is I had smoothed it off. As I said in the previous video, this was catching. By the way, I was on about the ridge along here. No longer catching. We now need to go take some photos. So I'm going to walk you through the process that I actually do to take the photos. I do normally take the photos on you, the camera, on my phone, because it's just so good. I actually bought the S24 Ultra for my business, so I can use the camera. But in this case, I do have a Sony a600 that is sitting over there that isn't being used. I am going to utilize that. So let's head over, take some photos, and then go throw it up on Shopify. Alrighty, so here we are at our basically photography section. So starting off, I have a Sony a6000. This was originally got for my streaming, and it's a really decent normal camera that we actually started to use for photography. I did, like I said before, normally use my phone, but as it's now going to be the recording device, we are going to use a camera. And to be honest with you, it's a pretty decent camera. It's 24.3 megapixels, and it does do pretty well. So in this case, the lens, by the way, is literally just some random lens, nothing special. It's just a wide. It cost me like 50 quid or something, so pretty cheap for a lens. Talking about the lighting, so lighting is really important when it comes to your photos, as well as photography and filmmaking. So in this case, the reason why I look so bad is I don't have enough lighting. There is going to be some new stuff coming soon, which is going to help me with that. I've just got a key light right there that you guys can see me with. In this case, I have a huge amount of lighting up here, basically a big light box, because you want a light area that can fill up a lot of space. And so when it comes to filmmaking and photography, the bigger the light box, the better, because you can have it further away. In this case, we have a huge section here to kind of simulate daytime, daylight, and it basically pushes a lot of light down onto this. I have a ring light here. Now, ring lights aren't that great in total when it comes to photography. I have another 2 up there. Normally the key light that I'm using right there is actually sitting here and then lighting up both sections. But in this case, we have this ring light around about a 45-degree angle to what the objects normally are from where the camera is, so that it gives a nice depth to the photo. And then same with the other side, because you normally want to light it up pretty well, but in this case we're just going to be going like this. I don't know a lot about photography, I'll be totally honest with you. All I know is that I just need to mess around a little bit when it comes to the lighting and not make it too bright, make sure everything's in focus, and bada bing bada boom. I do want to get a new lens for this camera when it comes to the picture taking, because when it comes to streaming, you kind of want something quite wide, as well as got decent depth of field. This is quite wide with a depth of field that is quite thin, so it has to be perfect, and this little screen here is not really the best to see it. But anyway, back to the picture taken. I have got my object right here in front of me. I will show you the photos as I'm taking them. I do also have my camera on a 2-second timer. So basically when I press the button, it will wait 2 seconds and then take the photo, purely for the fact that, you know, if I'm pressing it, it does shake, and sometimes it might just end up being too quick and not really that great. Let's mess with the lighting right now. Oh, to talk about this area as well, this is a tabletop from one of Lou's old desks that she actually used to have her makeup on. And then the backdrop right there is a old curtain that we had upstairs, and we're using it as a fabric. And basically it's got nice depth to it, the curviness and all that stuff, which is pretty nice as well. Cool. I am happy with this, and then we're going to head upstairs and take a few photos on Lou's setup. Okay, so we are upstairs in the office. Before I go any further, okay, I do want to premise that I am no professional. This is all learning on the job. A lot of the time when it comes to taking photos, I'm not going to lie, I leave it on the default camera. So here we are in front of us right here. You can see the pictures that we've taken. Some of them are great lighting, one of them's good lighting, and then some of them might be actually out of focus. That's the lens for you. Okie doke. So when it comes to sorting out colors and everything, when it comes to actually these pictures, I use the what's it called? The Windows, this. I literally edit it inside of Windows itself. I don't use Photoshop. I don't have that kind of skill level. Again, it'd be something that'd be really cool to learn. I'm just not there yet. So what we need to figure out is how zoomed in and how much we need to actually show off this product. Okay, so you can see the camera's depth of field is nutty. It's blurry here and blurry on the back end, but right here, it does show what we need it to see. Okay, it does seem quite bright, so we can darken it maybe a little bit. Maybe it's more, we need to make the shadows just that little bit darker, and then maybe lower down the brightness. Cool. Saturation doesn't need to be touched realistically. Sharpness, we could sharpen it up just a little bit, so like maybe 50%. Okay, cool. I'm quite happy with that. Contrast, is there any point doing anything with the contrast? No. One of the ways that I do is I basically just go back and forth with some of this, and I think that doesn't look half bad. It does show that it's nice and bright. Okay, so I'm going to showcase the actual photos now. So these, we've got 6 photos in total. You need at least 5. If you end up having less than 5, then you should actually be able to take a huge amount. I think Etsy can go up to 20 now. I know they've increased that limit recently. So here's the main photo. So this one is going to be showcasing the actual product on Etsy. And then here's one that doesn't have any of the mess in the background. Overshot, side shot, and those are the other 3. So they're basically all just being rotated in this case. So awesome, very happy with this. Let's pick this up and throw this up here. So we are now going to be getting to the stage of publishing it on our actual store. So here we have the Shopify store. It's looking Shopify-y. Not sure what to really say. If you've never had or never used Shopify before, I would recommend getting it. You get like, I think like 3 months for £1, and then you've got to pay afterwards. That's plenty of time to get a huge amount of products up there. I would recommend buying a domain separately from Shopify and then porting it over. I had a guy that I know who actually bought his domain through Shopify and then locked his domain inside of Shopify, and he couldn't get it back. Bit of an awkward one, but yeah, so get your domain outside of Shopify so it doesn't get locked down, basically. So in this case, we have the product right here, the beautiful, really nice colored ring holder. Could not think for the life of me what it is. So we are now going to use ChatGPT to help us create the category here. So all of this information here, we're going to get ChatGPT to help us. So if I zoom in again, so going through everything So this is the most important step when it comes to creating your listing. So it goes, I am adding a new product to Shopify store and I want a complete SEO setup. Use my product listing plus information and references I provide and make an SEO strong as possible. So this is basically everything that I want it to give me information on. Perfect. And then down here is explaining what the product is. So this is a, how wide are we looking? I think we made it 12 centimeters. It's 12 centimeters by, in fact, we can grab all this information from here because it's the product. So it's 120 by 120, okay? So, well, it's 100, of course, 120 by 120, but it's 120 by 120 by 7, so it's 7 centimeters tall, okay? So we need to give all this information with detail here. So this is just to remind us what it actually is. So in this case, we want to go, this is, do you know what? I'm going to write it out and then read it afterwards. I put, this is a 3D printed pumpkin ring holder with a nice matte orange and green finish. It has a good weight to it. It is a flat textured bottom, so it won't wobble on the table. The bowl is in the shape of a pumpkin and there's a pumpkin in the middle with a green stem that you can put your ring on. It's 12 centimeters wide, 7 centimeters tall, perfect for any desk size. This is for, so then you've got to talk about who it's for. So this is for women who are autumn fans, love Halloween and pumpkins, and the colors are pastel. So the colors are pastel colored. And it has a great texture because I like it, right? You can also, if you want to, add a photo of the item so that this prompt can actually see it. There's a photo of it, you can see it, nice and easy. And in this case, we can have a look to see if there is anything else out there that is like the ring holder that we have. We have already checked, or I have already checked, sorry, to see if there is anything else out there, and there isn't. In the 3D printed market, there is clay version, so this is probably going to be one of our main competitors, but ours actually looks like it's bigger than that. I don't see anything else here that is anywhere near to the style that we have. So in this case, we don't, which is great. So normally with this prompt, if there is competition, then you can put it in there and it can use it as a slight reference to when it's doing its listing. But in this case, we don't have any. Perfectly fine. Okie doke. So it's got the image and now we're gonna tell it to create it. So it's having a look at the image. This is free ChatGPT, by the way. I don't know what version of ChatGPT this is. It is, well, it is, right? So here we go. So product title, perfectly fine. Meta, so this is what Google sees, meta description. The slug, so the slug is actually the URL. So it'll be jezbuilds.com/pumpkin ring holder dish. Coolios, and then this is all of the information that's basically going to be going into the description of your item, okay? These are the product tags, and these are the image alts. Very important stuff here. All we need to do now is basically copy and paste and have a little bit of a read through whilst we're doing it. So this is the product title. So if we grab this, throw this up here, I am going to be taking 3D printed out of the title because it's going to be in the description. It doesn't really need to be showcased in this situation because you're going to put it in the description, right? It's a little bit cheeky, but the thing is, a lot of people associate 3D printed with cheap. This, yes, okay, it's cheap, right? Because we made it, but it doesn't mean it's crap, which then means it will give the customer a chance to actually have a look at it, is basically what we're doing here. So yes, it's cheeky, but it is what it is. What are you gonna do? Nothing really. Okay, so this is long form description. You can copy it, paste it as it is. It's pretty decent. So add a touch of autumn charm to this nightstand, 3D printed ring holder dish, designed pumpkin lovers, Halloween fans, and this piece blends functionality, texture, and cozy full aesthetics with a beautiful jewelry organizer. So it tells you about the size, just a little bit about what it is, the size, function, made for autumn lovers. My missus loves autumn, so it's perfect. Pumpkin, cozy seasonal vibes, Halloween lovers, and all that kind of stuff. Let's copy all of this, and it does copy with this part. You can keep it, you can ask it to remove it. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. It kind of adds that little quirky part to whatever this is, okay? We're gonna come back to the media in a minute. I don't track the quantity on anything that I do. The reason being is I will always just print it. If we sell it, we print it. I add my shipping days. I'm quite aggressive with my shipping days. We have 2 days, so 1 to 2 days, and that has really helped us out. And also been a detriment when it came to Christmas, so then I increased it to 1 to 5 days. And yeah, so you just kind of move it when you need to. I would always recommend do a SKU. Always do a SKU, okay? So this is a pumpkin. So we're gonna have more pumpkins related things in the future. Maybe it matters what your store is. So pumpkin, and then it's gonna be a ring holder, and then we can always do it as 12 centimeter because this is 12 centimeter. Right? I'll be very surprised if you make another ring holder that is the same. You can always at the end do, because if you might end up doing another one, you can do type 1, right? So type 1, or you can do like the colors, so like the pastel. So you call it pastel or anything along the lines of that. So that's what we're gonna do in this case. The product weight, the best way of getting the product weight is coming over to your slicer here. If we slice the plate, and then it will actually tell you all the dimensions of it and the weight of the actual end product as well, which is obviously what we want here. So we're gonna say, so the model itself is 64, we're gonna do 65. Now, we obviously do grams because I'm from the UK. In country of origin, we are gonna do United Kingdom. All of this stuff does help. Don't worry about the harmonized system code. Being UK based, so this is for UK people. When you import it into Royal Mail, this stuff doesn't transfer. It's an absolute pain in the bum. So when you're actually on Royal Mail, click and drop, you actually got to input all the information again, but it saves. No stress there. We don't have any variants or options for this version. This is all you're getting. Okay, and then here, so the color is orange. So it's actually green and orange. This stuff will actually automatically when you put the images in there, but then you can also add it later on. So this is PLA, it might not have it. So let's just add PLA. Okay, it's gonna be a pain. We're gonna have to put plastic, that's fine. Closure type, I don't know what that is. None, because we don't have a closure type. Intended jewelry type is going to be rings. So here we can do body jewelry, I guess. Yeah, sure. Cufflinks, brooches, earrings. Sure, no problem. Multi-purpose rings. Yeah, sure. Awesome. The more information you put in here, the better it's going to be. Now, there is some stuff that I haven't added because I literally just made Shopify right now. You want to add the Google integration into this, especially once you've got your Shopify set up, but I can walk you through that at a later stage with like the final everything. Okay, so this is your meta information. So if we come back to this section right here, so we got the meta right here. So that's the title. Tries to do American, but I'm English. Boop. Oh goodness, close that down. Keep opening up that one. Your information. So normally it pulls everything from your description. You kind of don't want that because it's too much. It's only going to show 160 characters. So you want something that is going to be grab them in the face, right? So if you've got 3D printed up here, you can always remove this here. You don't need 3D printed in the title, again, like before. And then you can always have it here because you know, you want it in your description because you need to tell them that it is 3D printed. You can't turn around and be like, oh, it's not 3D printed when it is 3D printed. Okay, and then pumpkin ring dish, this is going to be our URL. Alrighty, so awesome. Right, now if we keep scrolling down, we got Shopify product tags. All right, so that is this section just here. So copy and paste it in there. These are all the tags you got. You're going to have different collections. So we're going to add it to our homepage, but then we can also have it in a pumpkin pumpkin collection sorted. So we got that one. And the more collections that you have your products in, you can end up doing better things in Shopify, but I can explain that later on when it comes to this stuff. So we can do ring holders. So that's another one. And so we've got homepage, pumpkin collection, ring holders, and we can always do, if you're going to do other stuff in 3D printed, you can always have one as 3D printed. Perfect, awesome. And then if you've got stuff that you can customize, like if you, I don't know, if you can put their name on it or whatever it is that you want, then you can always have a customization one. So the vendor right here is Jez Builds. And then the type, I've got no idea. Actually, I don't actually fill that one out. Actually, I've got no idea. I'm really surprised that I don't know what that is. But anyway, okay, so that is just, it is what it is. Now let's go to uploading our pictures. So if we grab them all and throw them down here. So we didn't do them as square, and the reason being is Etsy likes to have stuff vertical, square, and 3x2 now. So I'm just going to be doing everything 3x2 going forward. And now this is where you're going to be changing the information on what the product is. So you can use the suggestion, but one of the more important parts is the file name. It actually picks up the file name when it comes to Google. Okay, so you can use their alt text that they are saying. So pumpkin shaped ring holder with rings on a table with decorative items. In this case, it said 3D print in pumpkin ring holder dish on desk, but I quite like that one more. So if we grab you and then throw you in there, and then that's done. And it is extremely important to do this. You need to make sure that you name every single, is that the problem? Oh, it doesn't like JPEG. Huh, all right, well, that's good to know. It's really important that you name every single picture you do, because Google will grab it and use it, okay? So you need to make sure that you name everything. Awesome, so that's all done. Those are all of the 6 photos, all done and dusted. Sometimes it can actually pop up down here with some suggestions that they end up doing, but that's it. You are fully done at this point here for all your products on Shopify. It's a lot more easy than it looks. There is a lot more things you can do in the regards of sale channels and apps and extra things like Google, TikTok. They've got a load of stuff that I can go through at some point if this is what you guys want to see. But what I'm going to now do is change these, because this is cozy with an S, please. I need to go through and update a load of these stuff because it loves to just do it as American. Now, that is something that you kind of need to also understand is if you ship internationally, keep it as American. I would always recommend that you ship internationally anyway. And the reason being is you're going to keep that they are a larger audience. I will say that they are a larger audience. If they like something, they are going to pay that amount to actually have it. I've been selling things that are a couple of quid, and they're paying 3 times the value of the item in shipping because they want my product, because my product is better than what is out there. So if we click save, and then I don't know how this is going to look on this website. This is a pure basic website, so now we can preview it. I generally have no idea what we're going to look at. This is pretty cool. Okay, so you got the pictures up here. Oh, I haven't done the pricing. So the most important part is the pricing. So the way that this works is I have a calculator that works out how to do the pricing. I can make a separate video on how I price my items. Now, other people price their items differently. I just go for it's simplified. I don't calculate in maintenance and all this rubbish. I just calculate what it is. I also do calculate in my time that it costs me to actually make the item if I need to post-process any parts. So basically manual labor and parts I can add on separately to my calculations. If you guys want to see this and I can explain it more, in a future video. So to produce this item with my rates, it might seem like a lot, but it does actually cost me £4.20. So the minimum that I will ever price this on my store is £6.30. Okay, and the reason why that is I calculate it where you need to make sure that you have profit on this stuff. So I always make sure that I sell stuff for more than 50% of the value. So I add 50% on to whatever the value is. So this was £4.20, 50% is £2.10, add that on there, so it's £6.30. This is the minimum. This isn't the amount I'm gonna charge, this is the minimum that I will sell this product for. Okay, now obviously if I was to have 4 on a plate, it will be cheaper because I don't have to pay as much when it comes to processing everything. But this is the minimum that I will ever sell this item for. So in this case, I'm pretty sure I can sell this for £14.99 without a problem. And on my store, I will end up making it where the customer has to pay for shipping unless they spend over £25. So that's perfectly fine. Okay, this website, like I said, is just absolute basic and just not great. It's literally just the basic website. So all this kind of information here, maybe, yeah, we can get rid of it, but there's also themes out there that you can get that can end up making everything just look that a little bit more nicer. Okay, there we go. Next step is I'm going to show you how I import it from here into Etsy. There's a few things that you can do when it comes to linking your store to Etsy. For me personally, I use a program called ecommerce. This is inside of Shopify itself. If I can actually spell Shopify. Okay, so this is actually in Shopify itself. You need to search at the top here for commerce, and then you can see it right here. You basically install it. You do have to pay. There is a 7-day free trial you can do, and it is $39 a month. Now, that is a wee little bit of cash for some people. At the end of the day, for the ability to have your listings on 3 other platforms, it can do. So I use this for TikTok, Etsy, and eBay for myself personally. But there's so many more that you can do, and it's only a couple of dollars more for each listing, for each channel after that. Okay, so this is the platform right here. Alrighty, now when you click on all products, you can see all of your products will load up here. So this is the product that we have just done on our Shopify store. So if we click on this, you can see all of the information that we have inputted right here. Coolios, awesome, sweet. So now what we need to do is upload it to our Etsy. Click this, add products to channel. So if you have more than this one, then you know, it is what it is. So you can see right here now, it says missing info because it can't be uploaded straight away. That's not a problem. So we're going to go through this. Before we go through this, I will show you something and feel free to copy it. I don't want my title to be synced. I don't want my description to be synced. I don't want my price to be synced, but I do want the inventory as well as the orders to be synced, as well as the SKU. So those I want to be synced between my Etsy shop and my Shopify shop. So up here where it says channel settings, feel free to copy this because I don't price sync or do any of this stuff. I do sync the inventory. Okay. Pricing, inventory rules, I'll just leave it as it is. I'm pretty sure that's like $9.99. I've changed to $99 just because I have. And then we want to import orders to main store and import orders with unlinked products. So let's say you've made a custom order for a customer on your Etsy store. This will send it to your Shopify store. And then SKU sync, which is the one that I want, and that's everything. That's basically everything that I got ticked. And that's the reason why this platform is brilliant, is it gives you the options to send some stuff, but not everything. So this is the listing right here. It is, I'm pretty sure I have the ability to hide that. Yeah, cool, perfect. It says I'm missing info. That's perfectly fine. You need to make sure that your that your Etsy store has got all of its information that it actually needs, right? So I keep opening up devs. If you come here, you need to make sure that you got your delivery settings done. Again, I can walk you through how I have my delivery settings done, especially if exporting it over to stateside and all that fun stuff. But you need to make sure that you have all of your policies done and everything sorted. So make sure your Etsy shop is ready for these listings, okay? Because it won't sync some of the stuff and it'd be a pain in the butt. You can go and sort it out, but it will be a pain in the butt. Right here, it's telling us that there's some stuff missing. That's perfectly fine. We can sort that out in a minute, in a memento. Again, this is where I use AI. In this case, I use Gemini. Why do I use Gemini? Because it's Google's AI. I feel like it's slightly better at some stuff than ChatGPT or by Copilot. So I use Gemini for this part. I have made a gem. A gem is basically a list of, it's basically the prompts that you saw from earlier. I'm pretty sure it's because I'm putting my hands up, it's trying to track my face. I'm gonna try and keep my hands down. The problem is I'm part Italian, enough said. Okay, so this basically needs a prompt. If you put in, so if I come here and I just quickly edit this. So this is basically showing all of the information that I want it to say, as well as other relevant information. Okay, and I also got a bit down the end of reading the description. This says anything that you should ask the user first to double check what the inquiry is and create information on that request. So there's certain things that I sell that aren't 3D printed on my store, but sometimes the ChatGPT actually puts in there saying that it's 3D printed or vice versa. That's basically the way that I make sure that I didn't mess up on my Shopify listing. So this does double help. What we need right here is the description from our listing. And if we come back to the app lit marketplace, I basically Control A, Control C, grab Gemini and literally paste it in here. That's all I do. Okay, and you can see right here that it's going to make a full listing. Etsy does not like that, but ignore Etsy. Okay, and then this is all of your information right here, and then your tags at the bottom. And we also have a note down here saying each item is 3D printed, which means that there can be slight ugliness to the print, as you all know, right? All I do is literally copy this Etsy listing here, come over, paste that in here, and I have it set up so that it is the perfect length. Okay, you've got 4 characters remaining. Perfect. So we head back to Gemini again, copy all of this. Obviously don't copy where it says product description. It does take out the emotes because at the end of the day, they don't need to see that. Etsy customers are different. They need to have all the information there, punching them in the face so that they can actually see what is going on. Okay. So then Control A, Control V. Now this is the description. It doesn't look amazing, but that's not the point. When I buy stuff from Etsy, I don't stare at the description and want to know your life story. I want to know about the bloody product. Thank you. All right. Here is the pictures, and one of the most important things about this is you obviously want to rearrange stuff, is that it will transfer across the alt text and the names from your product on Shopify over to Etsy. So if you end up paying for Etsy ads, it will help Etsy do advertisement of your listings. Very much what you want. Pricing, we have it where it automatically calculates the 25% over that £14.99. So £24.99, I'm actually just going to leave it as it is because I also got it calculated as 25% plus then rounds up to the closest 99, which means it's £24.99. Now the category, about this item, who made it? I did. Awesome. It's a finished product and it is made to order. Okay, there is no partner productions in this. That's if you buy stuff from like if you've got an Alibaba supplier or something along the lines of that for the actual product itself. Okay, and it's production partners. So let's say if you make a cool keyring, right, and you are the only one who is making it because you got a deal with that supplier, that is basically what that is for. Okay. Primary category, jewelry storage and ring dishes. That's exactly what our product is. Amazing. And then you got a shop selection here. Okay, so inside of Etsy, if we was to come to our dashboard or listings, sorry, you have a section which is sections organize your listings. So we can call this ring holders. Perfect. Okay, so now that's there. If we come back to here, click the refresh, and then it can go into a selection for ring holders or pumpkins. It's like the collection on Shopify. Here we got a load of tags. We don't want anything to do with these tags. We want to use the Gemini tags that they're giving us. It could just be the same thing. It's not. Okay, cool. And it's also 13 tags. So materials is PLA, clear. This is for rings. Primary color is orange, and you always want to make sure it can't be personalized. Gold purity, we don't have gold purity. Gold solid, no. Length, it is 12 centimeters in size. You always want to make sure you fill out as much as you can. Okay, even if I've already put PLA, I'm going to put PLA again. Recipient, I got, well, I guess it's for women, but you can do unisex adults. That's not a problem. So if a guy is looking for stuff for his missus, that could work for that. A guy might like this. It is, well, it is, you know. It's 2020, oh God, it's 2026, my Lord. Anyway, back to this. So now we're going to choose our colors. Theme, perfect. Let's see if we have got anything that's like Halloweeny, or you got plants and trees. Zodiac, steampunk, travel, religious, not really. I think plants and trees is going to be our one. Okay, perfect. And then the width is exactly the same because it's also 12 centimeters. Perfect. Okay, shipping. This is where you need to make sure that you have got your shipping settings. Perfecto. Here you got your weight, that doesn't really matter. It's not a digital product and it can't be personalized. Okay, that is generally everything. Simple as done. So now if we click save and publish to eBay, it is successful. It has been done. So now if we refresh, okie dokie, there we go. We can see it right here. Pumpkin ring holder dish for jewelry. Look how nice and vibrant those photos are. Perfect. I need to give myself a name because owned by V6S8T4H28IXPG35H. Yeah, that doesn't seem that seems a little bit sus, doesn't it? I will swap that in a minute. But here we go. So this is the final amount. It's got all of the information on here, which is perfect, and it's got everything explained, and it's actually looking really, I ain't gonna lie, this looks really cool. Okay, so we've got the pumpkin ring holder. This is the title, nice and long. Please don't listen to Etsy. There's so many messages on Reddit about people changing their names to match what Etsy says that you should do. Just don't do it. Just don't. So it's got title there, nice and good. Got all of the information here. Delivery small business in the UK, Corleos. I'm pretty sure you can change that so it's like to whatever it is that you want. And then here you got all of the information. So you got a little bit explaining what it is, crafted in each, all cool stuff. And then you got all of the relevant information right here for what the everything is. So yeah, perfect, absolutely perfect. And that's all done. You are done. That is all that it requires. So if you've got like 1 million listings, you saw how quickly all you do is grab that, grab a new one. So like then you click on Etsy helper, copy, paste in your Shopify listing, boom, you're done. Next one, boom, you're done. Next one, boom, you're done. And it is generally that quick. So there you go. That is the final result of our listings. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we get any sales. I do need to change my name because that does look a little bit sus. I'm also going to try and probably put a few more things up on Etsy for this. But guys, that is how simple it is and how easy it is to go through and actually post stuff. If you found this useful, please leave a comment down below and also give the video a like and subscribe, of course, but make sure you join our Discord community. Feedback is gold. If I've missed anything or if you guys got any tips or if anything I said is wrong, please let me know as well. Okay, all relevant links will be in the description. I will have a pinned comment to our Discord. Make sure you join. And yeah, so in this video, we have made a website, got our listing up using AI, and then we've also now got a listing up on Etsy as well of our product. So guys, easy. You lot have a great day, and I'm going to see you lot in the next video. Any suggestions? Let me know.